lovely toothache. Gonna have to call the dentist to make me an appointment tomorrow. Got more teeth that need pulled out. Alright. I would like to start off today's Bible reading with a prayer request. I would like to ask a prayer request for my sister Melly Ramey. She's going through a lot, worrying about the twins. She's just having it really, really hard right now. Please keep her in your prayers. And please continue to pray for the twins. As you know, the situation with Gracie is not getting better. She is losing more water out of her sac, which is, she needs the water in there. And it's also making her not having any room to grow and stuff. And they don't know if she's going to make it. So she really needs God's healing touch. So they really need our prayers. And also, two of Melly's other kids, her boys, Gabe and Toby. Gabe's birthday's this month. Gabe and Toby are both sick. So she had them. It looks like she had them at urgent care. So they're both down sick. So if you can keep them in your prayers as well. And that being said, let's start today's Bible reading with Matthew chapter 23, verses 13 through 39. Woe to you, you teachers of the law and Pharisees! There is such a gulf between what you say and what you do. You will stand before a crowd and lock the door of the kingdom of heaven right in front of everyone. You won't enter the kingdom yourselves, and you prevent others from doing so. Woe to you, you teachers of the law and Pharisees! What you say is not what you do. You steal the homes from under the widows while you pretend to pray for them. You will suffer great condemnation for this. Woe to you, Pharisees! Woe to you who teach the law, hypocrites! You transverse hills and mountains and seas to make one convert, and then when he does convert, you make him much more a son of hell than you are. Woe to you who are blind, but denying to lead others. You say swearing by the temple means nothing, but he who swears by the gold in the temple is bound by his oath. Are you fools? You must be blind. For which is greater, the gold of the temple that makes the gold sacred? You also say swearing by the altar means nothing, but he who swears by the sacrifice on the altar is bound by his oath. You must be blind. Which is greater, the sacrifice or the altar that makes it sacred? So anyone who swears by the altar swears by it and by the sacrifices and gifts laid upon it. And anyone who swears by the temple swears by it, and by the God who sanctifies it. And when you swear by heaven, you are swearing by God's throne, and by him who sits upon it. So woe to you, teachers of the laws and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You tithe from your luxuries and your spices, giving away 1/10 of your mint, your dill, and your cumin. But you have ignored the essentials of the law, justice, mercy, faithfulness. It is practice of the latter that makes sense of the former. You hypocritical blind leaders! You spoon a fly from your soap and swallow a camel. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You remove fine layers of film and dust from the outside of a cup or bowl, but you leave the inside full of greed and covetousness and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisees, can't you see that if you clean the inside of the cup, the outside will be clean too? Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like a grave that has been whitewashed. You look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside you are full of moldering bones and decaying rot. You appear at first blush to be righteous, selfless, and pure, but on the inside you are polluted, sunk in hypocrisy and confusion and lawlessness. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You build monuments to your dead. You mouth pieties over the bodies of prophets. You decorate the graves of your righteous ancestors, and you say, if we had lived when our forefathers lived, we would have known better. We would not have joined them when they rose up against the prophets. Even when we are preening, we make plain that you descend from those who murdered our prophets. So why don't you finish what your forefathers started? You are children of vipers, you belly-dragging snakes. You won't escape the judgment of hell. That is why I am sending you prophets and wise men, teachers of breadth and depth and substance. You will kill some of them and crucify others. You will flog others in your synagogues. You will pursue them from town to town, and on your heads, stained through your hands, and drenching your clothes, my friends, will be all the righteous blood ever shed on this earth, from the blood of innocent Abel to the blood of Zachariah, son of Berechiah, whom you murdered in the house of the Lord, between the sanctuary and the altar. I tell you, this generation will bear the blood of all that has gone before. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you kill the prophets whom God gives you. You stone those God sends you. I have longed to gather your children the way a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you refuse to be gathered. Surely you can see that God has already moved his blessing from the house of Israel. I tell you this, you will not see me again until you say with the psalmist, anyone who comes in the name of the Eternal One will be blessed. And now we'll go on to our psalm for today, which is Psalm chapter 28, a song of David. Eternal One, I am calling out to you. You are the foundation of my life. Please don't turn your ear from me. If you respond to my pleas with silence, I will lose all hope, like those silenced by death's grave. Listen to my cry. You will hear me begging for your help, with my hands lifted up in prayer, my body turned toward your holy home. I beg you, don't punish me with the most heinous men. They spend their days doing evil. Even when they engage their neighbors in pleasantness, they are scheming against them. Pay them back for their deeds. Hold them accountable for their malice. Give them what they deserve, because these are people who have no respect for you, O Eternal. They ignore everything you have done. So he would tear them down with his powerful hands. Never will they be built again. The Eternal should be honored and revered. He has heard my cries for help. The Eternal is the source of my strength and the shield that guards me. When I learn to rest and truly trust him, he sends his help. This is why my heart is singing. I open my mouth to praise him, and thankfulness rises as song. The Eternal gives life and power to all his chosen ones. To his anointed he is a sturdy fortress. Rescue your people and bring prosperity to your legacy. May they know you are as a shepherd, carrying them at all times. And lastly, we'll read our Proverbs, which is Proverbs chapter 7, verses 1 through 5. My son, live according to what I am telling you. Guard my instructions as you would a treasure deep within you. Stay true to my directives, and they will serve you well. Make my teachings the lens through which you see life. Bind cords around your fingers to remind you of them. Meditate on them, and you'll engrave them upon your heart. Stay to Lady Wisdom, my sister. Recognize that understanding is your best friend, and they will keep you from the arms of another woman, protect you from the enchantress who entices men into her bed. And that was Proverbs chapter 7, verses 1 through verse 5. Okay, guys, that was today's Bible reading. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. I hope you guys are having a great day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, I'll see you again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye, guys. God bless.